Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Couple channel. I'm Dustin, and this is my review for The Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson. Following in the footsteps of his bumbling father, Detective Frank Drebin Jr. must solve a murder case to prevent the police department from shutting down. So, when I first heard that Liam Neeson was going to be in a Naked Gun sequel, continuation of the story, and he was going to be Frank Drebin Jr., I thought it was a joke. I really thought that this was going to be like an SNL skit. When I first kind of saw a little bit of the trailer, I was like, there's no way that they're doing this. And then as I watched more and more, I'm like, oh, they're doing this. This is real. This is a real trailer. And I had no idea that this was coming out. And I have to let you know that the Naked Gun series was a huge part of my childhood. Naked Gun 2.5, Naked Gun 3 1/3, and then all of the spin-off kind of comedies as well. Like, they had Hot Shots Part 2, and all of those kind of comedies I loved as a kid. So I was a little nervous of them doing a remake because those comedies and that kind of humor really was of an era, was kind of fit in that time, in that age of like the 90s and the late 90s. And I was a little afraid that it was going to be difficult for them to bring that kind of humor to a modern day audience. So going into this, I was a little bit like, okay, let's see what they're going to do. They kept that style perfectly. They were like, it's almost an exact copy of that kind of sense of humor. And I think they did a pretty good job on transitioning it from, like, say, an audience that were kids in the 80s and 90s to, one, you have to appeal to that audience again, plus a new generation. They kept it PG-13 too. I like the fact that they didn't try to crank it up to make it a little bit more of like an R rating, to actually have like a little bit more adult humor in there. But the Naked Gun series always kind of walked that line of R and PG-13 humor. Overall, I enjoyed this. I thought it was funny. One of the things that was the best about it was being in the audience where everyone is just yucking it up. However, I do have to admit that this comedy is very stylized. And I can tell that when I was watching it myself that I have kind of grown out of it. Even though I was sitting there and I still found it appealing and funny, and I liked what Liam Neeson did. I loved what Pamela Anderson did. I liked what all of the actors did, and all of the little jokes back to the previous ones. There's even one, look for it when you watch it. There's a moment to where they're in the background. There will be certain props from the original Naked Gun. So keep an eye out for some of those little Easter eggs that are in this movie. Overall, I feel I'm a little torn with this, because if you do not like this genre of movie, you are not going to like this movie. It's very, very specific and very, very geared towards a certain audience. Even me, who loved this movie franchise when I was younger, I was chuckling a little bit throughout the movie and had a few big laughs. But I could feel everyone around me in the theater just laughing out loud, and constantly too. It wasn't just a few chuckles here and there. People were completely yucking it up. So it made it a lot more enjoyable for me, and I was just sitting there kind of enjoying the atmosphere and being able to enjoy kind of like a retro look back at my childhood. So my overall thoughts, my overall rating for this movie is going to be a little split. If you still find this kind of humor and this kind of movie that makes completely no sense whatsoever, has no actual logic behind it, and you just want to sit down and have fun and get slapstick comedy, you need to see this movie in the theater. So I'm going to give it a matinee it for anyone who still likes this kind of comedy. If you don't, you're just kind of curious about the movie, wait for it to come out on streaming. because this is very, like I've said in my earlier, this is very much geared towards a certain kind of audience that likes this kind of slapstick comedy. So those are my overall thoughts on The Naked Gun starring Liam Neeson. Let me know what you guys thought. Was this a flash from your past? Was this something that you just absolutely loved? Comment below. Tell me which one out of the three, or even out of, if you've seen all four of The Naked Guns now, tell me which one is your favorite. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.